We are entering the final lap of the 2025 home and away season, and it's time to dive into some more facts. From the best individual performance of the year to the worst game of the year and everything in between, the 2025 season has produced some more facts. Shout out to Swamp on Twitter, who as always is the GOAT of these AFL facts. The link to his Twitter will be in the description below. Let's start with the Gold Coast Suns, who equalled a record last seen in 1917. A big feature of their round 18 win over Collingwood at home was their first half. Now they did defend well, but clearly Collingwood had an off night with their goal kicking, so much so that the Pies' first half score read 0 goals and 8 behinds. But let's go forward to the following week. The Gold Coast Suns had the daunting task of facing Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval, and despite winning their fair share of the ball and getting plenty of inside 50s, they couldn't kick a goal. Their halftime score read 0 goals and 4 behinds. The last time a team kept an opposition goalless in a first half, then couldn't kick a goal in the first half the following week, was Geelong back in 1917. Let's move on to perhaps the lowlight of 2025, the round 18 Saturday night game between Richmond and Essendon. There are a couple angles to look at this from, but let's quickly skip forward a week. We have to start with Essendon's injury list and player debutants. Liam McMahon, who played against the Giants on Thursday the following week, was the Bombers' 13th debut. That is an equal record for a non-expansion team in one season. It's remarkable and shows how battered the Bombers have been in 2025. The other side who played 13 new players was Fitzroy back in 1991. One of Essendon's new players was Oscar Smart, who did debut in that Richmond game. Now it was an ugly match to watch, with the Tigers winning 46-37. That combined score of 83 is a near 40-year low at the home of football. Taking away the MCG games that occurred during COVID, the 83 total game score is the lowest at the venue since round 11 in 1989. Richmond also featured in that game, beating the Brisbane Bears 45-26. Talking about Brisbane, one of their star players hit a significant milestone in round 19. Damaging midfielder Hugh McCluggage played his 200th game. It's hard to believe the former third pick from 2016 is still just 27 years old. He's been so consistent and had high level play for multiple seasons. The Premiership player is even having his best year in 2025 and is surely in line for a debut All-Australian jacket and a best and fairest. But if it feels like McCluggage got to 200 AFL games quickly, it's because he did. Out of all players in history, he is the third quickest to 200 games. It took McCluggage just 8 years and 100 days to reach the milestone. Second is Hawthorn star Luke Bruce, who took 49 days less, and the quickest to 200 was North Melbourne star Wayne Schimmelbusch, who got to 200 in 8 years and 11 days. Another significant milestone was reached by one of the greatest forwards in the 21st century. Geelong and former GWS superstar Jeremy Cameron finally reached the 700 goal mark. It came at the Cattery against Richmond in Geelong's 72-point win. It was one of his 4 majors, a mark at the time of recording this. He's hit 10 times in 2025. It's why he's way out in front of the Coleman and looks bound to take home the second of his career. Overall, he's the 27th player in VFL AFL history to kick 700 goals, and at 32 years old, he should be able to break the 800 mark and might even be able to get within reach of 900 career goals. Now in 2025, like every other season, there have been great individual performances from all types of players. But don't sleep on the game Isaac Heaney recently played. The Swans superstar set such a high standard in 2024, and although he hasn't replicated that year, he has been influential. He kicked 5 goals against the Western Bulldogs in round 16, but bettered that 3 weeks later in just about the best performance we have seen in 2025. He destroyed North Melbourne, gathering 36 disposals, 13 clearances, 9 inside 50s, and 5 goals. His 30.8 player rating is the highest recorded by a Sydney player this season, but the most impressive part about his stat line are the combination of clearances and goals. Heaney became the only player in history to have at least 11 clearances and 5 goals in a single game. At their best, not many are better to watch than Isaac Heaney. There have been no better intercept markers than Jeremy McGovern. It's a fact. In the 18-team competition, McGovern has taken the most intercept marks despite missing plenty of games due to injury. His career tally finishes on 654 in just 197 games. That comes out at an average of 3.3 per game. In fact, in 2014, his first season, and 2025, his last, McGovern averaged at least 3.2 intercept marks per game in the other 10 seasons of AFL he featured in. Second is Brisbane captain Harris Andrews, who is likely to pass McGovern soon, and third spot on the podium surprisingly goes to Richmond's Nick Vlastuin, who is also having one of his best seasons in 2025. The Western Bulldogs recently had their centenary gala and anointed Ted Whitten as the greatest Bulldog of their 100 years in the VFL AFL. Tom and Tony Liberatore were both named in that top 25, and both have combined to have long careers, with Tom even expected to play on again in 2026. With Tom playing his 250th against North Melbourne, and many joined his father, who also reached that games mark. The only other father-son pairing to do that is Essendon's Ken and Dustin Fletcher. Now they combined for 664 games, thanks to Dustin playing 400 himself, so Tom still has a long way to go if the Bulldog duo can challenge that combined games record by a father and son. Sam Darcy, Riley Thilthorpe, Nate Caddy, Aaron Cadman and Josh Tracy are just some of the young key forwards who are turning heads in the competition, but perhaps the one still quietly not mentioned enough is Logan Morris. The Werribee product has performed great for Brisbane ever since he came in late last season on his way to a premiership medal. His best individual performances this year came in round 14 and 15. Morris bagged 5 goals at home against the Giants in a round 14 loss, and backed it up the next week away at Geelong, kicking another 5 goals. Out of all of the previous young key forwards mentioned, Morris has beaten all of them in an impressive record. He became the youngest key forward to kick back-to-back bags of 5 since 1997. Almost 30 years ago, it was Essendon champion Matthew Lloyd who achieved the feat in his third season.